The MCMANUS Job by Corn Conic. 7 p.m. Evening at the MCMANUS estate, a postmodern building with large glass windows. The sun is setting, and your mother and father are arguing silently in the kitchen. Their mouths open and close, but there is no sound. None but the wind. The couple bicker as they orbit around a joint kitchen and garden space. They're cleaning it up, making it look nice, squabbling over what goes where and when. Your mother was always told to marry someone who complemented her extremes, but in some respects, her and her husband's sensibilities are frustratingly similar. Infectious OCD is one of them. Still, they know their limits with arguments. She shouts a little too loud or knocks something over, and he moves to comfort her. She falls into his arms, and all is forgiven. A quick pep talk later, they're back to preparing their abode, wordlessly this time. The guests are arriving in 1 hour. 1 hour. It's right there on the stopwatch. The place is almost ready, leaving them time to catch up on their new show before the first guest arrives. All is well. It'll be a good night, one they've been looking forward to. There's just not been a lot of activity around their place for a while. But they're not out of practice, only paranoid. Or is that only what they tell themselves? Who's to say? 7:42 p.m. You, Haley McManus, emerge from your bedroom, where you've been all day. Your parents have forced you to take a shower, but you are still dressed in pajamas, toothpaste stains down your shirt. Listlessly, you trot downstairs and grab a snack from the fridge. Something light, just to soothe your appetite. As you take the first step up the staircase, there's a knock on the other side of the house. That'll be my uncle, you think. Your suspicions are confirmed when you unlock the front door. He's annoyingly early. He's always annoyingly early. And he's got a big white grin on his big white face, which is half propped against a case of beers. He yells something merry as he walks in. The noise jostles Mr. Brown from his half-sleep in the living room where Holmes under the hammer has been spilling the drool from his mouth. He shakes Mrs. Brown, who is snoring, pressed up guiltily against his shoulder, and rushes to the hallway. A brief conversation is made, concluding with yourself being given the chore of taking the drinks to the kitchen. Afterwards, you head back upstairs, as you had previously intended to do. You're not ready to socialize yet, not fully, and your uncle's appearance has caught you off guard. But at least you're not your dad, having to put up with his forever energized brother's chatter whilst his wife slinks off to the garden to have a cigarette. Only a menthol one, though. She's trying to cut back. 8:15 p.m. More have arrived. A lot more. A few aunts, nephews, cousins, friends, punctual, but ultimately unimportant people. One woman has a ridiculous hat that will probably be universally mocked after she leaves. Your father wraps his hand on your door. He has had a quarter of a glass of wine and some microwave breadsticks. Downstairs, they're laughing. The uncle tells a joke about his brother's growing bald spot, causing everyone to guffaw quietly. You, meanwhile, are getting ready. Doing your hair, picking out what to wear, all that stuff. Your dad's telling you to hurry up and get your ass downstairs so everyone can make fun of somebody else, or something like that. You'll be asking if your ex, the benefactor, is coming. He's an interesting character. You've only broken up recently, and it was a messy one. You're mostly indifferent. You never anticipated the relationship lasting long, especially once you started doing those online photo shoots for a quick bit of money. But the man is devastated and wants to at least remain friends. Naturally, you've given him the cold shoulder. His recent habits had started to grate on you anyway. He'd been spending far too much time on the internet, and the sites he was accessing were disturbing, borderline illegal even. And that was just what he showed you. Your parents, naturally ignorant of the web, were sympathetic, however. They've invited him tonight as a way to patch things up. Or so they hope. At the end of the day, it's up to you if you want to go downstairs, but people are coming that you haven't seen in years, whose stories and jokes and gossip you wish to partake in. It's worth the risk, surely. 9:11 p.m. Everyone is here, and the populace takes up 3 meticulously arranged tables together, pushed into rectangular formation. You're sat with mostly close family, who are enjoying themselves to various extents. The youngest among you, a boy no older than 9, is engrossed in the reward systems of his grimy iPad, but to his credit, he's having a lot of fun. You're sat rather untraditionally at the head of the table, thinking of how the flow of alcohol is loosening lips, whether it's bragging about an adult experience or just letting loose some innuendos. The only thing spoiling your time is the manifestation of your clingy ex sat across from you. He has been staring whenever he thinks he can get away with it unnoticed, despite the fact you haven't exchanged a word. Inwardly, you plead someone will notice. Maybe he'll start getting really weird and your dad will have no choice but to quickly and quietly escort him from the premises. Sadly, the man's false charisma has managed to infect and convince those around you, which really gets under your skin. Must be something to do with all that money he has. A phone alarm goes off, setting off your easily frightened grandma. Your father stands up and saunters over to the kitchen amidst the coos of guests. He comes back holding a huge pink ham sat in its own juices between a pair of singed oven gloves, wetting everyone's mouths. The serving begins immediately, even though your mother has not yet finished currying the vegetables and gravy to the table. That's just how you do things. With a smile, you temporarily forget your troubles and sink your teeth into the meal. It's delicious, as expected, and many compliments are directed towards the chef. Your mother sighs when she looks into her partner's self-satisfied eyes and realizes none of the credit will be directed her way. Oh well, nothing a bit more booze won't fix. 10:17 p.m. A kind guest begins collecting plates, signifying the meal's end. You finish your last mouthful of broccoli and lean back in your chair, satiated but not stuffed. A few people have to depart straight away, but most stay for a little more drink and chat. The living room is filled and the TV switched on to satisfy the youngest. Bellies are full and people are tired. The night is dwindling down, but outside, it's getting colder and colder. There's nothing much to report. Not yet, anyway. 11:22 p.m. As the striking of the midnight hour grows even closer, a steady flow of satisfied relatives trickles out the door. It feels good having seen everyone again. Talking throughout the night has reassured you how close you are as a family. You're so close, in fact, that even though not everyone has left yet, your parents have already gone up to bed. Their sleep will be aided by the thick walls and nice dreams. You, meanwhile, are in the downstairs bathroom, having reveled in the glory of coming back from death throes of a Monopoly game. Your enthusiasm for the Prosecco has left you feeling slightly drunk as you do your business and think about going to bed, even though you're not tired. Looks like another night of staying up late, scrolling on social media. You get one of the biggest frights of your life as you open the door and see your ex standing across from you. You thought he'd already left. Clearly not. There's a moment when you can't read him. His naturally neutral exterior holds the moment in balance, almost like he doesn't notice you. It feels oddly mechanical. You take a step back, and the man's face strains into a smile. He twitches and mumbles something you don't catch a word of, noticeably pale and sweating. Wow, wouldn't have thought he had lost this much confidence, is what you think as he sidesteps you and disappears around a corner on his way outside. The weirdness of the whole situation catches you, but you shrug it off. Whatever. It's not like you should feel the slightest bit upset. Why would you be? He was the one who couldn't get over you, not the other way around. Now that he's revealed himself as a complete man-child, you couldn't be happier. He's gone for good. It should be a cause for celebration. Funny how that works. 11:24 p.m. You stumble over to the stairs and lift a foot, only to hear some noise coming from the kitchen. Curious, you decide to investigate. Opening the door reveals a man who stayed behind. A polite man. He's piling his plates up and putting them on the side by the sink. He's rinsing his cutlery. He's wiping some mess off the counter. He's being a great guest, and, most importantly, he's very attractive. Not quite supermodel level, but you would consider him out of your league. Jet black hair and a sharp jawline. And there's a good chance he's had a bit of work done, but only a little touch-up. Nothing that would leave his face looking like a melting plastic bubble. He certainly works for you, is what I'm trying to say. You can tell because you've completely frozen, and your heartbeat is fast. Result: you want to kick yourself for fulfilling that whole love-at-first-sight stereotype that everyone says about you, but right there and then, it doesn't matter. Who is this person, though? You don't recall speaking to him at all tonight. Your uncle had spun a few yarns about some dude from whatever company he was under now. Was that this guy? Couldn't hurt to ask. Your introductions are mutually awkward, to the point of inspiring raucous laughter. Always nice to have a little unintentional icebreaker. Turns out he is the guy you thought he was. Even better, he's a great conversation haver. He keeps saying he must be going, but you get him to switch from topic to topic, talking about the night, your professions, your hopes and dreams. It helps that he's only a couple of years older than you, and somewhat wasted himself. Gradually, you inch closer, letting your feelings unfold. Everything changes when he compliments your eyes. Your pale grey eyes that you've always hated. You feel your face soften. You're quite close together now, leant against the counter. Close enough to feel his heat. You lean over and kiss him, hard on the mouth, but it's sloppy. He matches your intensity, and before a full minute goes by, you're leading him by the hand to your bedroom. You know that you shouldn't really be doing this. Nagging voices pop up and tell you that this'll make things awkward, that you're just on the rebound. Just doing it to spite your ex, but you tell them to shut the hell up. You're in the mood for a fun end to the night. Your parents will sleep in, and come morning, no one needs to know. 11:58 p.m. The room is dark as you slip in together, illuminated by moonlight. You feel slightly self-conscious as you realize how nerdy the place must look to the average person, space-related paraphernalia scattered across the walls and shelves, pristinely kept. Your newfound friend doesn't seem put off, though. He looks directly at the big telescope sticking out of the open floor-to-ceiling window. You begin undressing, but he is preoccupied, stood beside it, trying to get the focus right. His childlike excitement is undeniably cute, no matter how much it detracts you from the moment. You smile and join him at his side, giving him a quick rundown of how the contraption works. Jupiter is what he's looking for, and it shouldn't be too hard to find. It's quite a romantic moment from an outsider's perspective. "Was that Jupiter?" the man shouts, scaring away a few birds. You shush him, but indulge his discovery, letting him move the things as he wishes. It takes a minute, but he gets it in a perfect place, then gestures for you to take over the eyepiece. Deep breath now. It won't take long for you to realize. Midnight at the MCMANUS estate. A postmodern building. Large glass windows. No sound but the wind. And the time is right. I take aim. Gotcha. Your last memory is the flash of my muzzle through the glass lens, up there in the trees across the road. Your body slumps to the ground without a word, and without much mess, thankfully. My associate gives a quick thumbs up, then silently departs from the back of the house. I scramble down and begin the half-mile-long walk to my trunk to collect the second half of my payment from a certain wealthy benefactor. Another target down. On to the next job. Hello everyone, Nature's Temper here, just reminding you that we have t-shirts. If you want to support and show your love for the channel, look in the description below. There you will also find a t-shirt design called Bring Back the Wolf. All proceeds of this design go directly to the Rewilding Institute, a charity that I fully support.